Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter review of Tokyo Revengers. We have chapter 252, Bring Back. And coming off the last chapter, we have, the most important part that it ends with is we have Hanma going up to the winners of the previous fight. So we're saying Chifuyu, Mitsuya, Hakai, etc. Everybody who's won a previous fight, they're all grouped together, and Hama's been sent down by Mikey to go take care of them. And then we have Pa confronting Mikey, and they're about to fight. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the main things that you need to worry about. Obviously, Takamichi's still fighting Kakucho, etc. And yeah, so let's just hop right into this chapter. Chapter starts off, we have Pachin and Mikey facing off. And we have Pei on the bottom, basically getting rid of all the riffraff and basically encouraging Pa to, do his thing. And so we have a little bit of dialogue between Pa and Mikey, and basically Pa's like, last time we fought was back in first grade, so let's get it popping. And Mikey's basically like, well, you're gonna die, so, I don't know what to tell you. And so the fight begins, and we got away. Now, getting to the next part, we have the remnants, the winners of the previous fights, fight Hama, and Hama's already put down two people. Akun and Hakai are down. Obviously, they're not dead. Fist fighting, so they're not dead, but they're down. And we just got Mitsuya Chifuyu standing, and Hama's looking pretty fine, for the most part. Considering that he has pretty good durability feats throughout the entire series, I'm not surprised. He's fighting people who are kind of worn out. So, it is what it is. And now, we cut from there. There's a lot of different parts that we cut to throughout the chapter. Well, we cut to a few different parts in this chapter in the beginning. In the second half, we'll get to there. But anyway, so we leave there. We got a close-up of Shifuyu's face, and he's basically just like Hakai, Akun. Moving on. So we have Benkei punching the shit out of Coco. And basically, he's kind of like confronting him. He's like, you punched me in the face. Like, what's the deal? We're on the same side, same team. What's going on? Friendly fire? What's the deal? And basically, after Benkei punches the hell out of Coco then proceeds to clarify, hey, I'm not on your side anymore, alright? I'm out this game. I'm leaving the Kanto Manji gang. And Wakasa seems to be kind of alerted to this. He's like, but it ain't nothing. And so we have a little bit of dialogue. There's a lot of bromance going on in this section of the manga. And you know what? I'm here for it. I like it. So basically, Inupi is basically apologizing to Coco about the situation, because they're probably gonna get beat up. And Coco's basically like, no, I should apologize to you. And basically, he gives a quick explanation of his whole backstory, the character development he just went through. And so he's basically like, oh, I always saw your sister in you, and he obviously he loved his sister. And so he basically explains oh, I couldn't accept the fact that she died, and so that's why I ran with the money. And then that caused me to have this mindset of oh, money is the most important thing ever. But he basically points out oh, despite the fact that I effectively ignored you / betrayed you in favor of your sister who had passed away, and betrayed you and various other people in the name of money, you always stuck by my side. I respect that. So he's basically like, you know what? I'm taking your sister off top 1 in my life, making her a 1.5. I'm putting you at the top because you're my bestest bro. Or maybe it's a romantic thing. I don't know. I'm not gonna deep it. I'm not a shipper. I don't ship things unless it's official. I ship the official stuff, but rarely do I ship things that are not officially mandated. So that being said, moving on from there, we basically have Inupi basically be like, I'm glad you're joining me, but this is a weird time to join my side. I'm about to get beat up by 2 living legends, as Inupi puts it. And he's like, the Coco I know would never join the wrong horse, so to say. Wrong horse, right horse, betting on the wrong horse, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. And so Coco says only a true friend could ride that horse, right? And that's kind of a deep line, but I'm not gonna lie, as a doctor, you're always serious all the time, so sometimes you gotta be a little childish. So I definitely did have to put a pause in that sense, because that's kind of, I know what he meant. I knew what he meant immediately, but I'm just saying, like, if you analyze that sentence for like a second, like, only a true friend could ride that horse. Like, whoa, what do you mean by that? Like, that's all I'm saying. All right, and Anubi amazingly gives him a look. Like, I don't know. Maybe Anubi was thinking the same thing. He's throwing a pause in there. I'm just saying. And so we get this cool panel, and they're standing back to back, and let's fall into hell together, said by Coco, and Anubi agrees. And I don't know. I don't think they're gonna win, but you know what? I respect their tenacity. Proceeding from there, we cut back to Pa and Mikey's fight, and immediately we see Pa's face, and he's looking beat up. But he's still staying strong. He's like, hey, getting pumped up from this fight, whatever. And Mikey literally looks like he is like not taking this seriously. You look at, he has like the non-detailed drawn face, and he's just wailing on him. Pa's basically, he's gonna talk. I think he like knows he can't beat Mikey. It makes sense. Anybody who's in Toman understands, like, no, Mikey, the invincible Mikey is invincible for a reason. So he's basically like kind of like trying to connect with him in a way. He's basically like, hey, I was pumped up. I'm pumped up right now, just like how I was when you first invited me in Toman, and I followed you around and beat people up to make Toman better. And while Pa saying this, Mikey puts a devastating knee to the gut, and Pa almost throws up, but he keeps it in. I respect that. And we have Pa crying as he's yelling Mikey, and obviously Mikey just then completely deadpan proceeds to throw out one of his legendary kicks, as we know, the nuclear kicks. And Pa, unlike most other people, he doesn't go down. I feel like this is quite the feat, because most people, and especially with this kind of Mikey, who's probably stronger than previous iterations, because he's older and whatnot. But in addition to that, Mikey don't care. Obviously he's not does that like killing intent. Well, not killing intent, so to say. But he's throwing out a kick to knock this guy out, and Pa took it. He took that kick. I respect that. And so basically, taking this hit, we have all the onlookers basically being like, especially from the console Manji era, basically like, whoa, that guy took a kick? He took the kick and he's alive? What's going on? And we have Pei just watching on. I'm probably not disappointed, but he's like, that's my boy. Like, I don't want him to get hurt. And we have Pa basically he's basically kind of like pouring out his heart right now. He's like, I'm not very smart, so I understand your plans, but you're my friend. So as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter what's going on, And we get this panel of his face that's pretty detailed. It's basically like him saying like, hey, up until now, he's done his best to keep you smiling. And basically we get like this panel of like all like the original captains and vice captains. We have Baji, Mucho, Pei, Chifuyu, Sanzu, Draken, Happy, Angry, Hakai, Kazutura, and Mitsuya all there. And basically he says like, we all love you. We see Mikey looking all happy and stuff. And then we get a cutaway to Mikey's current face. He's basically like, I could care less, honestly. And Pa goes down. He's basically like, and the last thing Pa says, he's basically like, oh, are you having fun? But we'll never know. When you see Pei just looking all sad and depressed. And that's the end of that. That's the end of the chapter. It's quite the chapter. It's quite the chapter. Really good chapter, a lot of good art. To extrapolate, okay, so Hanma's probably gonna beat up the remnants of the remnants of Toman, so to say. Everybody who won their fight is probably gonna lose to Hanma, because he's pretty clean and he's pretty strong, and I doubt Chifuyu and Mitsuya can put out enough to take out Hanma at this point, especially if Akon and Hakai are already down. I just don't think it's enough. Especially if Hakai and Akon are already down, I don't think Shifuyu or Mitsuya have enough in their tank left over to take out Hama. I think Mitsuya could probably take him out on his own at full health, but at this point, I don't know. And that goes for both of them. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Because obviously there is a little bit dilemma in the sense that if Kanto Manji gang members win, like, someone's going to have to defeat them later. And I don't know if we have enough strong players to take. I mean, obviously other people can take them out maybe afterwards, but I don't know. For right now, it's looking like a losing side for Mitsuya, Chifuyu, Hakai, and Akon. As for the Benkei Wakasa versus Koko and Upi situation, first off, I mean, it's good to see that Koko's now on the right side. Obviously, his whole arc kind of involved him kind of like doing good things sometimes and then doing bad things sometimes. So it's good to see that, you know, he's now committed himself to be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna stand with my friends instead of standing with money. You know, let me do the right thing, etc., etc., etc. So that's cool. If you're a shipper, I mean, I'm sure this chapter is like the best thing ever. I'm not a shipper, so the chapter is just cool. I mean, just cool in terms of the Anupi Koko situation. As for their fight, I mean, Koko got a pretty good hit on Benkei. I mean, he put him down for like a second. So Koko's not completely weak as I thought he was. I mean, originally I just thought he was just like, you know, he was just the brains of the operation. Money-making brains, for that matter. And so, I mean, and Anupi's pretty strong in his own right. So, I mean, they could beat them. I mean, I don't know. Once again, it's another situation where it's like, maybe if they were full health, sure, but Anupi's pretty banged up as it is, and Koko's now pretty banged up because of Benkei, so I mean, it could really go either way, but we'll see what happens. And then, as for the whole ending section, I mean, there's not too much to elaborate on. It pretty much went the way I would expect it to go. Pa's much stronger than we give him credit for, because being able to take one of Mikey's kicks and not immediately just go down is a feat. That is a feat. No matter how much killing intent you think Mikey has, taking a kick from Mikey and not immediately going down is a feat. That's why I give Hama credit, because he took a kick, it ain't go down immediately. Now, obviously, when Mikey was more serious, that knocked him out. But just taking a kick in itself is a level of strength that most characters don't meet. They just don't. They don't meet that feat level. So, considering that Pachin was already taking a lot of damage and then got kicked, I mean, I don't know. And this is a Mikey that I would argue is on the higher tier in terms of like seriousness of the kick. Alright? I think everything he said, you know, it's cool, you know, obviously showing their connection, the fact that, you know, this is one of Mikey's oldest friends, and so on. So I think just in that essence, it's a good chapter. And going from here, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Mikey's gonna like actually get into the fight. I think past the point of Pa going down, I think either he'll just leave Pa's body there and kind of just like ignore him, or he might like throw him down into the riffraff and be like, you guys take care of my light work, you know, get rid of him type of beat. But I think from here, I don't think Mikey's actually going to get involved just yet. I think Takemichi, I still think that Takemichi is going to beat Kikucho before Mikey actually like starts fighting. Or perhaps we'll have another a situation where maybe like to show Mikey's true dominance in a situation, we'll have all of his subordinates lose eventually, like one by one, and then everybody who's left just has to fight Mikey. And obviously, I mean, it's Mikey, so he proceeds to like beat the ever-living dog crap out of everyone else, and then it becomes Takemichi versus Mikey. I mean, it can really go either way, but for right now, I think that is it for the chapter. If you like, leave a like. If you dislike, leave a dislike. If you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, drop a comment. And if you feel so generous, you know, in your heart it beats deeply for the doc, drop me a subscription. And with that all being said, thank you once again for watching the video, and the doc is out.